Now let's go to the next set of problems, and let's start off first with problem number 6. So we're going to create a table with 5 points for negative 3x minus 1 equals y plus 2. Now, I had mentioned that this was a line, and I know it's linear because x is to the first power and y is to the first power. So in both cases, we have x and y to the first power. And I think, yeah, I do this one on here. So what we want to do is we want to solve for y. It's easier to solve for y. So they say to do a table. If you can solve for y, it's much easier if we just go ahead and solve for y and see what we get in this particular case. So of course, I am going to subtract 2 from both sides. So I get negative 3x minus 3 equals y. And now I have an equation which looks like an mx plus b type of equation, where my m is negative 3 and my b is also negative 3. So that's pretty easy to graph. So what I would do in this case is 1, 2, 3. So that's my b value. The negative 3 tells me that I go, remember that's 3 over 1, that I go down 3 and over 1 right over to here, and then I would graph that like that. So that's what it would look like. And that's all I need are 2 points whenever I'm doing those types of lines. Okay, so for number 7, which it looks like I didn't go to correctly. So let's go over to number 7. So number 7 says graph a line that has an intercept of negative 3, 0, and a y-intercept of 0, negative 3. So you have to remember x-intercepts are, of course, the x-axis is along the horizontal, y is along the vertical. And so we have negative 3, 0, which is right here. We have 0, negative 3, which is down here. And all we have to do is just draw a line. That's straightforward. Now, when it says to write the equation of the line, that's pretty easy because if I know the y-intercept, I can just write it directly like this, and I can see what the slope is. So we have y equals mx minus 3 because I can see that that's the y-intercept. Now I have to take a look at the slope. And notice if we start at this point, always start to the leftmost point. So we go down 1 over 1, or we go down 3 over 3, which means that my m is equal to negative 1. So y equals negative x minus 3. Okay, number 8. So graph a line with a slope of negative 4 and a y-intercept of negative 1. So 0, negative 1, which would be right here. The negative 4 tells me that I need to be negative 4 over 1. That tells me that I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. So we go there, and if I could draw a straight line, my straight line would go through those 2 points. Okay, number 9 we're skipping. We're going to jump over to number 10. And number 10, notice we are just solving for a. So we want to figure out what a is here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and solve for a. So I have, in this case, 15a, because I'm going to distribute first, plus 25 plus 4a equals 2a plus 30. So my first step was just to distribute. My second step is to combine these two together. So I have 19a plus 25 equals 2a plus 30. My next step, depending on what you want to do first, is I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides. So I have 19a equals 2a plus 5. And my final step, subtract 2a from both sides. So I get 17a equals 5. And now I divide both sides by 17. So a equals 5 over 17. And that would be my answer there. Okay, and I think on this one, I'm going to skip this one and go to the next video, and we'll do absolute values and the other 3 problems after that.